We are coming to you live from Boston, Massachusetts, and the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. On the 22nd day of October, 2020. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, we discuss 20 years into the 21st century. Where are we? Here on the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. We were going to have a roundtable discussion, but Midge Mathis could not make it this evening. So, if you have any questions, call me anytime in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. Or you can call into the show live, ask a question, get involved at 800-313-9443. Or you can listen at 605-313-0163. 20 years into the 21st century. It's hard to believe, it really is. And what do we have to show for it? Government corruption, tyranny, and abuse have propelled us at warp speed towards a full-blown police state in which egregious surveillance, roadside strip searches, police shootings of unarmed citizens, censorship, retaliatory arrests, the criminalization of lawful activities, warmongering, indefinite detentions, SWAT team raids, asset forfeiture, police brutality, profit-driven prisons, and pay-to-play politicians have become the new normal. Here is just a small sampling of the laundry list of abuses. Cruel, brutal, immoral, unconstitutional, and unacceptable that we have been heaped upon by the government over the past 2 decades. If we let the government make laws without our consent, we are letting it happen ourselves. And I think the government's flawed because we elect officials in each state to go to Washington and make decisions that we would like to have happen. We don't vote or get to vote on these things that they do. So when you find somebody that you have put in office and they are not doing it, what you want them to do, vote them out. Because they are not good for you, they are not good for the country. Targeted individuals have endured the fact that the government has failed to protect our lives, liberty, and happiness. The predators of the police state wreak havoc on our freedoms, our communities, and our lives. The government did not listen to the citizenry, refused to abide by the Constitution, and treated the citizenry as a source of funding and little else. Police officers have shot unarmed citizens and their household pets. Government agents, including local police, were armed to the teeth and encouraged to act like soldiers on a battlefield. Bloated government agencies were allowed to fleece taxpayers. Government technicians spied on our emails and phone calls. And government contractors made a killing by waging endless wars abroad. The American president became more imperial. Although the Constitution invests within the president very specific, limited powers, but in recent years, American presidents, including President Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, etc., claimed the power to completely and almost unilaterally alter the landscape of this country for good or for ill. The powers that have been amassed by each successive president through the negligence of Congress and the courts, powers which add up to a toolbox of terror for an imperial ruler, empower whomever occupies the Oval Office to act as a dictator above the law and beyond any real accountability. The presidency itself has become an imperial one with permanent powers. Now, it would seem that mainstream news, all of the reporters, seem to be controlled by the Democratic Party. Either they are totally against President Donald Trump, or they are totally against the Republican Party. In any election that I have seen, the Democratic Party controls mainstream news. So what does this amount to? What else does the Democratic Party control? In The Guardian, reportedly, money was given to the BLM, and then suddenly rioting in Seattle, Washington ceased. But that was not the case. Rioting had already not ceased, but settled into people leaving. Still, there remains that BLM did receive money, and suddenly the rioting in Seattle, Washington ceased. The Democratic National Committee unanimously adopted a resolution in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement on Friday afternoon during a summer meeting in Minneapolis, September the 4th, 2015. Now, What I'm trying to get to the bottom of is who is coming into these BLM peaceful demonstrations and planting bricks. Hundreds of bricks, maybe thousands of bricks. We don't know. What was the Chinese doing? Supplying rifles in Seattle. What were the Chinese doing? Why weren't they picked up by our own government? If you run a red light, you're history. But someone from China can come here and sell weapons or supply weapons to rioters who would make the BLM look bad. The Seattle Times in recent weeks, the BLM Global Network has had to debunk misinformation from conservative activists who claim the group's donations were being redirected to the Democratic Party. This was reported by the Seattle Times, June 17th, 2020, 10:55 a.m., and updated at 9:35 p.m. So who's doing this, okay? Who is behind this? The BLM has aligned themselves with the Democratic Party in 2015. Has the Democratic Party, in fact, turned on the BLM? The presumptive Democratic nominee for President, Joseph R. Biden Jr., has a total of 1.6 million unique contributors almost 14 months into his candidacy, according to his campaign, published right around the same time, June 14th, 2020, updated June 16th, 2020, by the New York Times. So, let's go back and look and try and find out who is trying to undermine the BLM. Well, mainstream news is run by the Democrats, or so it would seem. In every publication that I read that is dated and time stamped, we have militarized police that have become a power unto themselves. 911 calls turned deadly, and traffic stops took a turn for the worse, lacking in transparency and accountability, protected by the courts and legislators, and rife with misconduct. America's police forces became a growing menace to the citizenry and the rule of law. Despite concerns about the government's steady transformation of local police into a standing military army, local police agencies acquired even more weaponry, training, and equipment suited for the battlefield. Police officers were also given free range to pull anyone over for a variety of reasons and subject them to forced cavity searches, forced colonoscopies, forced blood draws, forced breath alcohol tests, forced DNA extractions, forced eye scans, forced inclusion in biometric databases. Many of you don't know or don't understand that there is a 100-mile inland limit which goes around the entire United States. So, from Boston, 100 miles west, and around the entire country, that is a danger zone. This is a zone where you can be searched, as I have just mentioned. Look it up, people. The courts have failed to uphold justice. With every ruling handed down, it becomes more apparent that we live in an age of hollow justice, with government courts more concerned with protecting government agents than upholding the rights of we, the people. I always stress that in anything that I bring up on the air. We, the people. We, the people, control this country, not we, the government, or we, the president. The checks and balance systems, which is built into our government, is failing. We have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the executive branch. Right now, we have one individual who controls the entire country, and her name is Nancy Pelosi. I don't know who she thinks she is. Please remove her. We, the people, do not like Nancy Pelosi, and we want her removed. Is that hard for you to do? She is obstructing the legal system. She is keeping trillions of dollars away from the citizenry. She is ruining our lives. Thank you for listening. I'll be right back.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Hey gang, Patrick Slattery here with an important message that is pertinent to anyone who shops for groceries, eats food, or just has an inquisitive mind like myself. What I'm about to introduce you to is a segment of our food culture that has been kept so low profile to the American public that virtually no one is aware of how dominant it is on our refrigerator and cupboard shelves. What I'm talking about is the kosher certification industry and a new app, Koshertified, that delivers a comprehensive education on all aspects regarding this little-known practice. After reviewing this app, I found that it is useful for practically anyone who purchases food, regardless of their religious faith or identity. Its database of products not kosher certified is a win-win convenience for all food-conscious people. So why not check out thekosherquestion.com or click on the link at nationalbugle.com and see how modifying your grocery shopping with the Koshertified app can make a huge difference for your future.
Coming to you once again live from Boston, Massachusetts, and the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. On the 22nd day of October, 2020. My name is Frank Allen, and tonight we have been discussing 20 years into the 21st century. Where has it gotten us? And we are discussing this here on the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. As I mentioned, we were going to have a roundtable discussion tonight with Midge Mathis and Richard from North Carolina, who is here right now, but we are unable to do that. But I would like to bring Richard in and ask him in just 1 second. I've just got to call in the numbers here, so if anybody wants to join us, they can. You can call me anytime in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. You can call into the show live and ask a question and get involved at 800-313-9443. Or you can call in and listen at 605-313-0163. And I am here for the targeted community of the world. And I represent Targeted Massachusetts and the Allen Institute for Human Rights. Okay, Richard, what do you think of the first 20 years?
Hi, Frank. I was listening. Sounds like a good call of awful lot of truth tonight, and some truth that some people should be thinking very hard about, considering all the things that you listed yourself and the many others that we have a problem with in this country, and it's going to cost a bigger price than we're going to be able to pay. The biggest issue with the people these days seem to be that they don't understand the difference between laws, rules, and policies that have been developed by these police state militarized people that is taking over our country, allowing the brickbats to be stacked and the guns to be sold and the towns to be destroyed. We don't have a good understanding of the Constitution, because most of all of these things are going against the Constitution, including the policies and laws and rules and guidelines that they force down our throat to try to make us live by. Someone recently was talking about regulating these microwave weapons and such that is being used on many people these days. Well, that's a good idea, but even that goes against the Constitution. You have to be able to bear, you have a right to bear arms. We started with sticks and stones and stuff when we were cavemen, and graduated to the bow and arrow and the spear, and then the rifles, and from there electronic weapons, and who in the world knows what comes next. You have to be able to defend yourself, but knowing the Constitution word for word, hand by hand, we can go against the things that allow these companies and corporations and people that are doing what they're doing to do them to us. We have a right to defend ourselves, and the time is coming soon.
I agree, Richard. And we have an election before us. And the Democrats, I'd like to first honor Justice Ginsburg, who served for many years on the Supreme Court and passed away. In passing, she has obviously left a vacancy, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, wants to fill the vacancy. The Democrats would like to flood the Supreme Court. And the Democratic candidate will not give answers to questions about the Supreme Court. And this is the only reason why I am even delving into politics. Okay, we have a commercial. It's the bottom of the hour and time for station identification. Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3. Extend your life with Extendovite.
Extendovite really works. Here are some reviews from Amazon.com. Amazon customer, 5 out of 5 stars. I'm quite happy about it. This product has relieved what appears to be an angina problem, pain in the chest after climbing stairs, and short on breath. I'm quite happy about it. Dr. Sam Surreal. Good product and ingredients. Kept my blood pressure normal after mild heart attack in 2015. Switched to plant-based diet also to reverse atherosclerosis. John Bispicos, 5 out of 5 stars. Built up my immune system. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
My name is Frank Allen. Good evening and welcome to the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Call me anytime in the U.S. Feel free at 1-508-857-8334 or call the show and ask a question and get involved at 800-313-9443. Or you can listen at 605-313-0163. And tonight we have been discussing 20 years into the 21st century. And where are we? And what do we have to show for it? We've brought up many fundamental issues here. And we've brought up major issues here. And we've talked about the courts, and we've just got into the fact that Justice Ginsburg of the Supreme Court did pass away. And our president, Donald Trump, selected someone to take the place. The Democrats would like to flood the court. We, the people, would like to see the Constitution upheld. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. Many of its decisions could change the course of the history of the United States of America. So, I would like to see our president follow exactly what he is supposed to do. And he has done that. And I hope that the Democrats respect his decision and stop all of this and get rid of Nancy Pelosi, too. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, Richard, what do you think?
Well, I think we definitely got a problem with Pelosi, and I think we ought to do the 72-hour hold or the cognitive test on her, but that's just my opinion. The thing about this choosing and picking of our Supreme Court, we definitely need people in there that are going to uphold that Constitution, because that's all we have. It's getting bad enough now that without that Constitution, we're losing bits and pieces as we go, asking what have we got to show for it. We've got plenty to show for it, but it's not any of it good, and it's heading even into a deeper, darker place as we go. Our forefathers knew we needed two sides. We needed two debating sides to balance out. But the Democrats, they want to take it over, and they're underhanded and low down and willing to do just about anything they can, including stacking a few bricks or letting in a few rifles. But all in all, it's still, maybe we should be pushing we the people to get that education, to get that knowledge, and find themselves standing in the groups that they need to be counted in to make enough noise to make the changes, because even the decisions up top should be made by the people. And we need to let our strength be known enough that we can make those changes. If not depend on someone to do it for us, then do it ourselves.
Very good. I agree with that. And I don't like the idea that the Democrats would like to swamp the Supreme Court with judges, not sticking with the 9 justices, but flooding the court. The surveillance state, yes, sir. The surveillance state rendered Americans vulnerable to threats from government spies, police, hackers, and power failures. So since the turn of the century, we have had a horrible tragedy. The Twin Towers were taken down. I'm not going to get into my theories on that. Then we had the Patriot Act as a result. Then Homeland Security, another result. So we have been enslaved because someone took down the Twin Towers and killed 3,000 people and more. Thanks to the government's ongoing efforts to build massive databases using emerging surveillance, DNA, biometric technologies, Americans have become sitting ducks for hackers and government spies alike. Billions of people have been affected by data breaches and cyber attacks. On a daily basis, Americans have been made to relinquish the most intimate details of who we are, our biological makeup, our genetic blueprints, and our biometrics, facial characteristics, and structure, fingerprints, iris scans. in order to navigate an increasingly technologically enabled world. And we have a guest, caller, Janet Phelan. Go ahead, Janet.
I was listening to you talk about the Patriot Act, and I just wanted to weigh in here for a second because we've given a lot of attention to the surveillance authorities that were written into that piece of legislation. And I do want to point out that the removal of culpability for the pandemic was written into the Patriot Act in Section 817. And it has been my understanding since the events of September 2001. As you remember, there was, of course, first the horrific attacks on the World Trade Center, and then there were the anthrax attacks. Now, why were those paired? They were paired for a very good reason that our government has not explained to us. But the fact is that Section 817 of the USA Patriot Act paved the way for what we're experiencing today with this pandemic, which has also devastated our rights in this country. And if I am correct in my understanding, will wreak much more havoc and death before it's through.
I'm sure that, I hope that that's not true, but I know the extensive research that you have done, and you are in a position in a foreign country to look at the U.S. with a different slant, or possibly different news sources that have been altered slightly since you are actually out of the country. I have heard that from others. I have heard that websites in the United States are a little different than websites in the UK. I can bear witness to that because before they made these changes, I went to a UK website and I was astounded at the things that I read and the prices of goods and whatnot. And then everything changed. I don't know exactly when, but websites changed so that they were tailored to your country. And what do you think about that, Shannon?
Well, I don't know. I use a VPN, so according to my searching, I'm searching through the United States. So I do read international media. I read BBC. I read Latin American news. And I don't think I'm getting different information because I'm outside of the country. I think the articles that I'm reading online are the same in the U.S. as they are here. This is what I think.
Okay, we'll compare notes sometimes. We'll go to a site that's totally off the wall and just see if it's the main articles and things are the same. Actually, the details are what we want to look at.
One thing I have noticed is I do a lot of research on judges, and when I go into their financial records, particularly their loan history, even if I use the VPN, which puts me smack dab in Texas, right? I'm not getting the full records. And I noticed this. I was talking to a researcher in New York, and we went to the same website, the same county website, and on that judge than I did. And that kind of scared me because I felt that my research abilities were being somehow mitigated it because I couldn't follow the records. I thought that was very weird.
Well, manipulated would be a better word. I myself, excuse me, guys, for butting in, but when I first heard that something wasn't right, it didn't match, or something was not true, I dove in, dug me up several researchers that were not TIs, for one thing, and were kind of under the radar anyway. And each and every time I turn around, not only was things popping up deliberately for me to find, when I had the other people look at it, it was not true. It was not real. I'd say 10% of what I was reading and getting was true and was real after months of looking at it. So the majority was not. And that's still going on.
Well, there's a lot of fake news out there. We know that.
Yeah, the next thing I'd like to look at, it's tracking off here a little bit, but I wanted to bring it up because it's very important. And what I'd like to bring up are books. We must not let anything happen to our books, because our books are being scanned and digitized so that they are online, and pages are lost. Books themselves are lost. If there's only one copy left, okay, and something happens to that, that's the last book, and they lose data all the time. This statement is coming from Google Books, and they have lost many, many, many books. So protect your libraries. Donate to your libraries, especially main libraries where all of these books are stored in numbers. Comment, Janet or Richard?
Books are very important. Books are critically important. And we're seeing, in a sense, some digital book burning going on with books being banned from Amazon now. It's getting very much like the Ministry of Truth out there.
Sure is. And one of the books that's funny you should say that. One of the books is 1984.
Yep.
That was just banned from Amazon. I don't know whether it was a joke or not, but I mean, everybody wants that book. I mean, it sold out. What, a year ago, Janet? It sold out. People really started to wake up and see what we are seeing as targeted individuals. Janet Phelan was so badly beaten up in the United States that she had to leave or face something that we can't even think about, because we really don't know what it is, but she was getting really beat up bad. And I'd like to thank you for your talent, which is inborn, comes from your father, the want, the need to know, and the need to tell the truth. I think you're a great journalist, Janet. Next, I'd like to get back on track here a little bit. I think that the police have been taken care of with what they need by my president. Okay, we have to go to commercial, folks. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you so much. And a great evening.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz. I was right 30 years ago in warning the world about threatening lab virus outbreaks, AIDS, and Ebola. I was right 20 years ago when FBI Director Robert Mueller made me a suspect in the anthrax mailings because I warned the Bureau before the CIA's biocrime and Cipro sales psyops happened. I was right about COVID-19 being an AIDS-laced mutagen planned to resurge this fall to excuse officials' profitable depopulation globalization agendas. And I was right about the only safeguards being antioxidants and holy spiritual sustenance. Vitamin C, D, zinc, chlorophyll, oxygen, and oxysilver especially transmits the frequency resonance to neutralize the expanded function bioweapon. Oxysilver is a double superconductor of the healing power of love. It is the first nutraceutical invented to amplify prayer power and the faithful, loving intention of your heart. Buy, try, and stockpile Oxysilver through HealthyWorldStore.com.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, 2, keep it today.
Is your property a financial burden and causing you grief? Have you tried to sell but can't find buyers? Or are you just too busy to sell your property? Don't worry, we have the right solution for you. We buy properties as is, with cash, close in 30 days, and pay all closing costs. Our service is ideal for property owners who are in pre-foreclosure, have high-end repair costs, experiencing financial hardship, going through costly divorces, are relocating, need cash for retirement, suffering family loss, or have tax liens. Whatever your situation may be, we can help you sell your property and get the money you need. If you own a single-family home or multiple family units, call us for a free consultation at 888-910-1037. That's 888-910-1037. Or visit our website at cashingproperty.com. That's cashingproperty.com. Sell your property fast and leave all your worries behind.
We are coming to you live from Boston, Massachusetts, and the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. The 22nd day of October 2020. And this is a discussion, I think, that we're going to pick up again, because since the turn of the century, that has been the turn to hell for this country. Closing thoughts, guys? You have plenty of time.
Well, I just want to say, Frank, that from 70 to 2000, we had some good and we had some bad changes. That's 30 years. In the last 20, we have very little good changes to talk about, and it only happened in 20 years, but just as much happened. I'd be willing to bet you in the next 10, and reaching out to our younger generations, it's going to happen quicker, and as you said, a lot worse. So I would promote getting your Constitution, learning your Constitution, making the people around you uphold your constitutional rights, and if they don't, make them pay you for breaking your constitutional rights.
That's a very good point, that you bring up, Richard. The Constitution is everything to we the people. It is everything, everything. And people should be brought to justice for breaking just one of your civil rights. And I don't care if it's a congressman, I don't care if it's a policeman. If they break any of your rights, they should be put in prison or at least brought up on trial. And I think past presidents who think they're behind a shield of some kind, guess again, because if you've done something wrong, you're going to trial. And I think you know who you are. And I'd like to say that it's been a pleasure addressing you this evening. And this is something that we will definitely go to again. Janet, are you still with us? I think she dropped off. I just wanted to make sure. But we will come to this again and give to your libraries books. Are the most wonderful thing in the world. I'd like to say good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. God bless you all.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcasts. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.